preheat of the gelatin. Now 27 degrees has taken place, so I'm going to start the inking. First of all, I'm going to get the excess water off the surface of the print. So very carefully with a fairly smooth tissue. You can see quite a reasonable relief image. So I'm just dabbing the excess water away, and by looking at the reflection in the light, you can tell when pretty much all of the droplets have gone. Not too bad at all. The gelatin's pretty robust at this stage. It's pretty good. So I'm now going to take the main sheet off. Just give the glass a bit more of a dry. On we go. And that looks pretty good. So we're ready now to start applying the ink. So I've got the ink already laid out, which is Rawlins letterpress carbon black. And we use the roller, 2 rollers, 1 no ink, 1 for ink. So just a nice layer of ink on the glass. It feels quite sticky, that's pretty good. Okay. And then we just lay the ink on the surface all over in like so. Picture goes pretty much black completely to start with. Keep going, you can see the image coming quite nicely. We're just laying the ink on now. Good. Put a bit more on the roller. I was actually taught to do this with a sponge, a domestic washing up sponge, which didn't really like the effect, and so I just prefer to get my images done with rollers. So see the blacks are going nice and black. The image looking a little bit flat, but we can increase the contrast in a while. I forgot to ink my step wedge. I always put a Stuffer step wedge on, just to get me, or give me some idea that the exposures are pretty good. You can see the greys are coming in nicely, so that's not bad. It means my exposure is pretty good. So I'm just going to keep putting the ink on to get the blacks really black. You can actually feel if it's going on right. I'm going to keep putting ink on. The beauty of this process is that you can get it pretty black, and then to increase contrast you take the ink off. I've got pretty much all my greys in there nicely. The white border you can see is pretty clean, so that's good. So now you can actually take ink off with the ink roller just by being a bit gentle and rubbing fairly. You can see how it's lightening up in the grey areas. You sometimes don't actually need to use the what I call the no ink roller. That's pretty good. Quite a nice tonal range on that. I mean, one of the problems I used to have was too much contrast, but I'm finding now by balancing your negative you can actually get really quite soft prints, which is quite amazing. I'm really going to finish this one now. I could keep going, but I'm just going to try and get a little bit more contrast by lightly touching the grey areas. Whites are really good, nice and clean, and that's what I'm going to do. I'll just put a bit more back there, it's just gone a little bit light there. Here we go. So that print can now be dried. As you can see, looks pretty good to me.